That's got to be strange because like you were the first and you're for sure the most prominent. Like, how did you pull that off?
Mostly longevity by surviving the first wave of skating in the 80s, or well, it was actually kind of the second wave of skating in the 80s, where I had a pretty good career. I was doing really well in competition, especially in the mid to late 80s. And then as skating kind of went underground, I never quit and started my own skate company in 1992. And then when the X Games came into play, I was still kind of on top of my game. I did really well there. And I think a lot of people carried over my name from that first round where they were skaters in the 80s and now maybe their kids skate. And they're like, oh, I remember that guy. You know, and their kids are watching me on the X Games. And then when our video game came out in 1999, that's when everything changed, for sure.
Well, you were famous for skating when you were like 17 or something, right?
I turned pro when I was 14. Yeah. And then, but I mean when I say that, it might seem magical, but at the time, skating was this little tiny scene. So when I literally went pro, I was filling out an entry form to a competition, and I had already reached the top of the amateur ranks, and there was a little box that said pro and a little box that said am. So I checked the pro box. And that was it. I was pro. No one was offering me a contract. No one had champagne. You know what I mean? And like my coach was, I'll never forget, Stacey Peralta was looking over my shoulder, and I checked it, and he's like, okay.
That's it.
That was it, yeah.
Wow. So, but you had a coach.
We had a team manager. He's the one who put me on what is now considered the Bones Brigade, but the company was Pal Peralta, and that was sort of the elite crew of skaters in the early 80s. And I was the super young newbie on the team, like super skinny, dorky kid, and a lot of the guys that were established were like, "This guy, really?"
What is that, Jimmy? Oh, is that you?
That's me at age 17.
Wow. Time flies. Does it freak you out looking at that?
I think I mean, I see that photo making the rounds, so it's cool. So by the time I turned 17, I was kind of doing well in competition and making money. So I'm literally sitting outside of my house that I bought while I was a senior in high school in that photo.
Whoa.
Which was a challenge trying to stay focused on schoolwork when you have the party house.
That's crazy. You own a fucking house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, a duplex, but yeah, it was my own place.
Still.